What if everything you were taught about hard work was quietly keeping you poor? Not lazy, not undisciplined, poor. I know that's uncomfortable, and I want you to sit with that discomfort for a moment, because the people who built generational wealth, who actually crossed from struggle into abundance, they didn't work harder than you. In most cases, they worked considerably less. The difference wasn't effort. It was never effort. Most of us were handed a map to a destination that no longer exists. We were told, work hard, get paid, hours in, dollars out, a clean, simple equation, and it feels moral, it feels honest. But the equation is broken, and today we're going to look at exactly why, and more importantly, what replaces it. This is not a video about working less. This is a video about thinking differently, about learning the one skill that separates those who trade time for money from those who make money work for them. It's called leverage, and almost no one teaches it correctly. There were once two figures who lived in the same village. We'll call them the carrier and the architect. Every morning, the carrier arose before the sun. He walked to the river, filled 2 heavy buckets, and carried them back to the village, selling water to those who needed it. He was disciplined. He was strong. He was, by every measure, a hard worker. And every evening he returned home tired, with enough coins to eat and sleep and do it all again tomorrow. The architect also needed to sell water. She made the same walk on the first day, but on the second day, she didn't walk to the river, she drew something instead, a simple system, a pipe, a channel, a gravity-fed line from the river to the village square. She spent 3 weeks building it. During those 3 weeks, she earned nothing. The carrier earned every single day. And then the pipe was finished. From that morning forward, the architect earned while she slept. She earned while she rested. She earned while she designed the next system. The carrier kept walking, kept pouring, kept trading his body for coins. Both were working, only one had leverage. This parable isn't about intelligence. The carrier was not a fool. He was playing by the rules he'd been given. The real question is, who gave you your rules, and are those rules designed to set you free or to keep you useful to someone else? There are 3 pillars that separate people who build leverage from those who simply build exhaustion. These are not productivity hacks. They are not motivational frameworks. They are structural realities of how wealth actually moves. Your brain is not a muscle. Or rather, treating it like one is where most people go wrong. Cognitive leverage is the practice of using your thinking once to create value many times. A book is cognitive leverage. A system is cognitive leverage. A framework, a process, a recording, a curriculum, these are thoughts that outlive the moment of thinking them. Here is the psychological trap most high earners fall into. They become extremely skilled, and then they sell that skill hour by hour. A brilliant consultant charges £500 an hour, which sounds impressive until you realize she can only work 8 hours. Her ceiling is fixed. Her expertise is not leveraged, it is rationed. The shift happens when you ask a different question, not how can I do this better, but how can I build something that does this without me? This is not laziness, this is architecture, and it requires a particular kind of mental discomfort, the discomfort of investment before return. That gap, that delay between effort and reward, is where most people abandon their leverage and return to the bucket. Build the thought once, let it earn indefinitely. Here is something neuroscience has confirmed that most wealth coaches refuse to acknowledge. The feeling of busyness is chemically addictive. Every time you complete a task, every email sent, every item ticked off a list, your brain releases a small dose of dopamine. This feels like progress. It is not always progress. Sometimes it is performance. Dopamine architecture is the deliberate restructuring of which behaviors feel rewarding to you. It is the hardest pillar of the three because it requires you to tolerate a kind of silence that your nervous system will resist. Building leverage, a pipeline, a system, a scalable asset takes weeks or months before it produces a single return. During that time, the anxious part of your brain will scream at you to do something visible, to look productive, to fill a bucket and carry it somewhere so at least you'll have something to show at the end of the day. The people who escape the time for money trap are not more motivated. They have simply learned to delay their dopamine, to reward themselves not for activity, but for the architecture they are quietly building underneath their daily life. Ask yourself honestly, are you busy because it moves you forward, or are you busy because it feels better than sitting with uncertainty? That question alone is worth 1,000 productivity apps. We live in an era of radical availability. Everyone is accessible. Everyone is online. Everyone is eager to be heard. And paradoxically, this has created the most valuable commodity of the modern economy: selective presence. Social scarcity is not about being cold or distant. It is about understanding that leverage in human relationships works the same way as financial leverage. When your attention, your expertise, your time is everywhere, it is worth very little. When it is rare, deliberate, and specific, it becomes magnetic. The architect in our story did not run to every customer with her pipe. She built the infrastructure and let the value speak. The people who are most sought after, the most generously compensated, are almost never the loudest. They are the most intentional. This applies to how you position your skills, your services, your ideas. If you are available for everything, you are essential for nothing. The moment you define your specific form of value and protect it, you shift from commodity to currency. This is not arrogance. This is precision. The world pays generously for precision. I want to speak to you directly now, not as a framework, not as a concept, because I know something about you, about whoever is watching this. You are not here because you are lazy. The lazy don't look for answers at all. You are here because some part of you knows that the way you've been working isn't working, not fully, not the way it should be for the effort you've put in. And that gap between how hard you've tried and how little it has returned, that gap has cost you something deeper than money. It has cost you belief in yourself. I want you to hear this clearly. The problem was never your effort. The problem was the container you were pouring it into. You were given a cracked vessel, a model of success built for a different economy, a different era, maybe even someone else's life, and you kept pouring yourself into it, wondering why you weren't filling up. That is not a character flaw. That is loyalty to a broken map. The cracks in you, the fatigue, the frustration, the quiet voice that says, there must be a better way, those are not weaknesses. They are intelligence. They are the signal that you are ready to build something different. Leverage is not a shortcut. It is not a cheat. It is the natural evolution of a mind that has worked hard enough to know that hard work alone is not enough. You are already capable of becoming the architect. The tools are not hidden. The knowledge is not locked away behind expensive courses or the right connections. What's required is a willingness to think differently, to build patiently, to let go of the identity of the carrier, even though that identity was built with real sacrifice and real dignity.
You honor that sacrifice best not by repeating it indefinitely, but by letting it be the foundation for something that lasts. Let me leave you with a single question to carry into your week. Not a task, not a challenge, just a question. Where in your life are you still carrying buckets when you could be building a pipe? It might be your income model. It might be how you use your knowledge. It might be how available you are to people who don't value your time. The answer will be different for everyone, but it exists for all of us. Cognitive leverage, dopamine architecture, social scarcity. These are not ideas to admire from a distance. They are tools, and tools only have value in the hands of someone willing to pick them up. This channel exists for people who are
willing. If this way of thinking resonates with you, if you want to go deeper into the psychology of wealth, clarity, and the kind of life most people only read about, then subscribe. Join the mastery, not for motivation, for architecture.